If money wasn't an issue and you knew you would succeed at whatever you did with life, what would your life look like? How much money would you make? What house would you have? Would you be married? If so, what would your spouse be like? Would you have children? How many cars would you have? What would every aspect of your future be like if you knew you couldn't fail? Now, I want to talk today about what is your dream vision and how to use your dream vision to actually create success within your life. So, first and foremost, your dream vision is supposed to be the end goal of your life movie. Your life movie being the journey from you being who you are today into who you want to be in every step along the way. But this is your resolution. This is what you need to know before anything else can start. Because if you don't have your dream vision outlined, you have no direction, you have no purpose, and you have no meaning. And today we're going to create that meaning. To build out your dream vision, you need to actually look at the world from a positive viewpoint. That's why if money wasn't an issue, it's part of the statement, but also, and you knew you would succeed at whatever you did, is a part of the equation. Because when you have those two things, no limitations can stop you. So many people I've seen face every single question around the framework of how much does it cost and am I going to succeed? But if we took the fact that money is a problem and we remove that out, if we looked at the possibility of failure being a non variable, then we can really get deep into who you are, how you want to be, how you want to live, and the life and world you want to be a part of. Because when you're limited to how much things cost and the possibility of failure, you stop yourself before you actually get to move in the right direction. And I don't want you to be bogged down by the possibility of failure or possible money. And so I want you to stop this video real quick and actually write it out. If money wasn't an issue and you knew you would succeed at whatever you did with life, what would life look like? Now, now that you've gone through and actually taken the time to decide what your future would be like, and hopefully you went as in depth as possible, I am able to move forward. Your dream vision is going to be your compass. This tells you where you're going. If Christopher Columbus didn't have a compass and he was just saying, I'm trying to get to India, he never would have even found America. Even then, he knew where he wanted to go and he ended up in the wrong place. But it was unintentional and he was able to actually make it to India later in his life. And so for you, if you continue to go day by day, going from place to place, event to event, experience to experience without having any direction of where you're supposed to actually end up, nothing in your life will pan out in a way that'll make you happy because you're just meandering through. Versus if we now have this dream vision as in depth as possible to the point where you can actually see it, you can feel it, you can smell, taste, and experience it just by reading everything you wrote down, you'll have a meaning and purpose because you know this is what I'm working towards, this is what I'm moving forward for. And if you can move forward for the family in that vision, that house in that vision, that car in that vision, that income, then now you have meaning. Every single thing you do within your life is now framed through the reality and thought process of I'm doing it for this message, this letter, whatever you've written down or typed out or whatever is in front of you right now is your purpose. It's your meaning. It's your calling. Whatever came up when there was no chance at failure and no worry about money, that's what you're supposed to be doing with your life. And I stand by that 100%. And that's why now that we have our dream vision, you can actually create a life movie because someone who's driven towards one end goal can overcome so many things. And that's a story somebody wants to watch. I'm trying to help you create the best movie for not only yourself, but also for the viewer and the people who will end up putting money in your pockets soon. And so now that we have a dream vision, it's time to actually look at the opposite side. I want you to take the exact opposite framework and just say, if I continue to do everything exactly the same as I'm living right now, what would my life look like in 20 years? If you're working a job you hate, think about how excruciating it would be to work that same job for 20 years. If you're in a relationship you don't like, think about how painful it'll be to wake up to the same person every single day or to go through a divorce. or to end up driving the same beat up car, making $12 an hour. Everything about your life right now, write it out. If everything stayed exactly the same for the next 20 years, what would my life end up looking like? Try and outline your health. How fit are you going to be? If you're out of shape now, just think about what will happen if you never change anything. You're going to have health problems. You're probably going to be sick. More than likely, won't be able to play with your children or grandchildren. Really break down what life is going to be, because this is going to be your motivator. Where if you have two magnets and you face them together, if they're not opposites of each other, they're going to end up pushing and repelling. Or, excuse me, if you have the same side of that together, you're going to end up pushing them apart. This is the point. Your anti vision, what's going to happen in 20 years from now if you continue to do the same thing, should be enough of a fearful sight, something so egregious and gross and terrible that it pushes you towards your dream vision. It pushes you towards becoming a new person. It pushes you towards creating your own life movie and story that you can tell people about, because you are so terrified of the actual reality. Because for me, I've seen people go their entire life without working out and then choose to continue to live that same way. And now at 23, 24, 25, they're facing diabetes, heart disease, and all these other things because they didn't want to take care of their health. And they're only 22, 23, 24. I've seen friends talk about how they hate their parents can't play sports with them because they allowed themselves to be overweight. I've seen people lose their parents at a very young age due to heart attack because their parents weren't keeping up with their fitness. I've seen people cry about the fact that they ended up being broke, having to go through bankruptcy in their 50s and 60s because they didn't want to manage their money better when they were younger. They allowed themselves in their younger years to stay exactly the same, to continue to do the same thing, to continue to go to parties, to continue to go out, to do all these things that didn't benefit their future. And they start to live something that they wish they never had experienced because they never gave themselves a dream outcome. They never gave themselves a purpose, a mission, a calling, a direction to go in life. And because they didn't have that dream vision, it put them in a place where they were just disappointed. They were sad. They were frustrated. They were so mentally drained that they were just at a point of, I just got to get through today, and I got to get through tomorrow, and then I got to get through the next day. It was never a thing of, I want to wake up, I want to go get after this, I want to go do that, I want to go spend time with family. It's got to do what I got to do. And I don't want you to have to live that life. That's not something that's meaningful. That's not something beneficial. That's not going to make you want to actually get up every day. You need your vision because that's what's going to pull you. That's going to pull on your heart. It's going to motivate your mind. It's going to motivate every aspect of you. When you go in depth with a dream vision to the point where if you read it, you start smiling, you start getting excited, you start cheesing, you start feeling warm inside, you're going to want it. You're going to fiend for it. And if you have an anti vision where you read it and you're like, if I don't make a change, I'm going to end up out of shape, broke, working a job I hate, with a family that doesn't love me, I'm divorced, I'm alone, I'm single, I probably stink. You're going to be like, this is gross. I don't want to live that reality. I need to go towards this. That looks so amazing. That looks so beautiful. Like, to have a Maserati and then also have a Bugatti and then have a 5-room house in this wealthy neighborhood where I can drive to downtown and go on amazing dates and then go hop on my boat and ride around on the water. Then I go to work and I'm excited. There's Dave from accounting, there's Rebecca from HR. Like, I love these people. It just changes your entire viewpoint of life and it makes it something worth again watching. Because again, you are currently living a movie. If someone was watching you right now with a camera, would the would the viewer of that video actually be entertained? Would they like the story? Would they like the journey you're on? If the answer to either of those questions is no, Well, I can tell you for sure, if you write out your dream vision, you write out your anti vision and start sprinting towards your dream vision, people are going to be like, oh, this is a good movie. I like that. Imagine if there was a movie where somebody sat at home watching videos like this and then just laid back, went on TikTok, and didn't do anything with themselves. And that's all it was for 2 hours, just them sitting at home scrolling through TikTok, going to work, hating work, going back home, scrolling on TikTok. You'd be bored out of your mind. But if this same person one day woke up and said, no, this is the start of my movie. I'm about to change everything about who I am. I'm about to become an entirely new person. I'm about to live as a character within this movie, overcome everything. But I'm going towards this dream vision. And by the end of this life movie, either I'm going to be dead or I'm going to be experiencing this dream vision. That movie would go so crazy. But that's the thing, that's every single movie you've ever seen. A character is at a certain place in life. Something pushes them over the edge, and hopefully, it's this video to where they say, things cannot remain the same. I'm not able to continue living this life. And so they get up, they go on a journey. They say, this is my end goal. This is what I need to accomplish. And I'm going to do it no matter what. And then they start on that journey. They meet a person who's willing to help them. They meet another person who's willing to help them. Soon they have a team of people helping push them towards one astute goal. And once they accomplish that goal after going through hardship after hardship after hardship, then they get to a point where it's the resolution. They have what they want. They've succeeded. They've won. And everybody's cheering. Everybody's happy. It's an accolade up on the wall. And the next new life can start. And that's what I want for you. So you need to really dial in. You really need to stop and figure out what your dream vision is. You really need to dive deep and figure out what that anti vision is. And once you have both of those dialed in, then you can move on to the next step. And so, if you want the easy step by step worksheet on how to create your vision, how to create your anti vision, look in the description below. I'll have links to the free version of my dream vision worksheet and the anti vision worksheet so that you're able to just use this and start building out the template and the roadmap to your success. Now, you stay smart, stay safe. I love you. And if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm going to be teaching you every other step you need in order to create your life movie and create the character of your dreams. Peace.